Here at Helmuth Ford, we are a small town dealership with no hassle and no pressure.
The Watch Your Fire and Rescue Soup Supper is Saturday, January 18th from 5 to 7 p.m. The menu is chili, potato, and Wisconsin cheese soup with desserts. Delivery is available within Watch Your city limits. Call 641-660-2239 or 641-224-5250 to place your order. It's the Watch Your Fire and Rescue Soup Supper this Saturday from 5 to 7. Style Me Crazy is a boutique store at 115 South Main in New Sharon. Boutique hours are Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Get fast, free shipping on orders of $150 plus, and they've got hundreds of styles to choose from, plus beauty items, accessories, shoes, and more. Go to StyleMeApparel.com for more information and to see all that they have to offer at Style Me Crazy. Follow Style Me Crazy Boutique on social media or stop in person at 115 South Main in New Sharon. The Keokuk County Expo in Sigourney presents the Faster Horses with opening act Neva Alden in concert Friday, July 18th at the Keokuk County Expo in Sigourney. The Faster Horses are your one-stop shop for both kinds of music, country and western. If you like high-energy 90s style country music, you're gonna love the Faster Horses. And Neva Alden is one of the best up-and-comers on the Iowa country music scene. And don't forget about the third annual fair kickoff cook-off on Saturday, July 12th. It'll be here before you know it. The concert at the Keokuk County Expo in Sigourney on Friday, July 18th. Oh yeah, we're feeling it. Oh, I restarted the music. How about that?
Well, you can never have too much music. I have music in my soul, Steve. But you know what I don't have?
What?
I don't have my own pair of headphones.
We may have been discussing the headphone situation.
We may have. Steve may have let me wear his headphones for a little while. And you don't realize this until you wear a nice pair of headphones. They're really warm. And today is like this gray, windy, blustery, cold, wet, not quite snowing, wretched winter day in southeast Iowa. And it was really nice to have those headphones on. It was like getting a hug for my ears.
They're my headphones.
And then Steve took them back.
They're only warm because they were on my head for a while.
Oh, okay.
Before that.
Well, I could have warmed them up myself if I had had my own pair of headphones. But apparently, I don't rank high enough in the world of Steve Shetler media to deserve my own headphones.
You can get your own headphones and bring them over if you want. Headphones aren't cheap. Come on now.
Okay. Well,
what's up? We're sponsored, of course, by New Life Community Church in Wellman. We thank them for their sponsorship.
Yeah, New Life Community Church in Wellman, where we teach people that they should share.
I gave you a bottle of water.
I do appreciate that. Okay, enough about headphones. Last week we were talking about how Moses is dead.
Yes.
And beginning an exploration of the book of Joshua. And hey, don't take my word for it. Go read the book of Joshua and find out for yourself, because I'm not going to be able to go verse by verse through the whole thing. I may go verse by verse through the first couple of verses here, because it's dense and meaty and packed with meaning and inspiration. But there are some sections, I will warn our dear listeners, there are some sections in the book of Joshua that describe the boundaries of the various tribes, and it gets a little boring. It does. And I'm a pastor, so I'm allowed to say that. Because for one thing, why would we think that we shouldn't be bored ever? Like, is it some kind of an insult to God that there's some boring stretches in his book? Hey, check this out. Next time you're reading the Bible and you feel a little bored, brain scientists, or at least something that I read on the internet once, said
it's true. It's true.
It's true that boredom is the birthplace of creativity.
Oh.
And I've never thought about this in the context of reading those passages in Joshua. But what if there was some purpose in the mind of God to leading me through a little bit of a boring section, because maybe there's some place where my creativity would kick in. And so we may come back and explore that theme in a little while, but not today. Today we're talking about Joshua chapter 1, verses 2 and 3.
You sound kind of like a Michael Scott character from The Office. Michael Clump.
Michael Clump. Oh. Oh, no. Better than prison Mike, I guess. So the Lord said to Joshua, son of Nun, Moses, my servant is dead. Now get ready, you and all these people. Get ready to cross the Jordan River into the land I'm about to give them, to the Israelites. I will give you every place where you set your foot, as I promised Moses. Ooh, let's unpack this a little bit, Steve.
All right.
What is the land? God promised to give his people land. And that was a literal promise for the time of the Old Testament. I personally do not believe that literal promise to the promised land is still in effect. And there might be some people who would want to argue with me about that, but who cares? I have the microphone right now, so unless you want to butt in.
I was going to say.
Because Steve has not only a microphone, but also headphones. And he has control of the laptop, so he could totally shut me off here. But for our purposes today,
Yes.
whether or not you believe that that the land is still promised to, there's a layer of spiritual meaning that I want to tap into, because this is going to apply to our personal lives a lot more than whether. I'm just not even going to talk about disputes over land in a literal place. But each person, I believe, has a land. And what I think that means as we look through the whole spectrum of the Bible, and especially as we get into New Testament and we start to talk about how each person has different gifts, and we could go unpack those things, and there's 3 different lists of gifts, and there's at least 9 different gifts. And so the if each person had 3, the number of combinations of gifts that, like, this is going to get into math, so we're going to veer away from that. But there's probably just a zillion different combinations of gifts that each person could have, and we would call that their gift mix or their gift package. So as a believer, as an unbeliever, you've got a package of, so maybe spiritually I have the gift of tongues and the gift of prophecy, and in the natural I have the gift of, I'm just making stuff up here, but being able to use tools. I said I was making stuff up. I'm gifted at using tools, and I'm gifted at basketball. We're just totally in fiction land here. So like, how many different combinations of different gifts and abilities could one person have? It's almost infinite. Then you start throwing in personality and your background and who you have friendships with and who you're married to, or if you're not married, or if you got kids. Like, all of these things create who you are and where you are in life. And then we start throwing in concepts like calling, like, what has God called me specifically to do? If I have some idea, or what is my job? And man, sometimes I don't mean to embarrass you by talking about you on your own show, Steve, but like, it wasn't that terribly long ago that a job that you'd had for a long time died. Like, boom.
Yeah.
And then you started to take the skills and the experiences and the resources that you had, and you launched this thing called Steve Shedler Media. And now here we are. And have we been doing Real Talk for over a year?
I mean, have we been doing this from the beginning?
It wasn't quite the beginning.
All right.
Because
So it's been a little over 16 months now since this all started up. So we've probably been doing it at least a year.
At least
Probably
a year.
over a year. Yeah.
Yeah. And things have come and gone. Like when we started off, we had a large following from like Asian countries.
Middle East.
That seems to have fallen off. But we do have kind of a core constituency. So thank you to those of you who listen each week and give us
My mom.
Yeah.
My mom's our number one fan.
Yeah, she's pretty much your number one fan in everything, isn't she? She's so sweet. I got to sit next to her during church a couple of weeks ago. It was our Christmas service, and we had everybody in the church stand in a circle around the outside for the last few songs, and she just doesn't stand for real long at all, does she? So she sat down to rest her legs, and so I sat next to her, and it was just a sweet time listening to her sing Christmas songs. And anyway, where were we? Your mom is really nice and loves our show.
I started up Steve Shetler Media.
Yeah,
16 months ago.
Yeah. So then there's this interesting promise here, and you started it because there was an unexpected end to a career. And I think all of us can identify.
Radio is dead.
Or is it?
Or is it? Dun, dun, dun.
Or is radio just changing? Well, kind of like people have been predicting the death of newspapers for 30 years, and yet people still keep figuring out ways to push out print media and do stuff online, and so there's always going to be a market for information, but just the ways that we do things. Okay, so maybe the ways that you've done relationships, or kind of whatever. But God has a life for you. He has something in mind. I could call it a destiny. I do like the word destiny because it implies destination, unlike fate, which is like, well, it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, it was fate. I was fated to, and it stinks, but there's nothing I can do about it. Or I think the Norse back in the Viking age, they had this idea that there were these three old women sitting under the ground in a cave at the root of the earth tree, and they were called Norns. I don't know why, but the three, maybe it just means old lady, but the three Norns sat at the base of the earth tree, and they had this tapestry, and they were weaving. Your life was like a thread, and they were weaving it, and like you just kind of went wherever the Norns wove you into life, and then if they snipped the yarn, then you were dead.
Uh-oh.
I may have just totally butchered Norse mythology.
The Norn snippers.
But I read that in a book once, so it must be true.
Along with the internet.
But yeah. I think actually that was a Bernard Cornwell book. Have you watched the Last Kingdom show on Netflix?
Nope.
That's swords and battle axes and Vikings and all that good kind of stuff. So anyway, we can get trapped in this idea that even that God is in control. We say in Christian circles, God is in control. And then we don't define what that means very much. And so it's pretty easy to fall into the thought that, well, God has a plan, and so I can't escape from it. And so there's nothing I can do to better my situation because apparently God means for my life to stink. Because he's in control. Blech. If that was true, I don't think that God would say things like this to Moses. I am about to give to the Israelites the land that I promised them, and I will give you every place where you set your foot. Okay, that's a pretty cool promise. Mm-hmm. You launch Steve Shetler Media, and things have just gone really well, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not every single thing has gone well, but you have explored a lot of different opportunities, and a lot of those have panned out. And so it's pretty exciting. But here's the thing. You don't get any land where you don't set your foot.
You got to keep setting your foot.
You got Yeah, you got to keep taking steps. You got to keep moving forward and putting your feet into places. And we're going to get ahead of ourselves a little bit, but in a couple of chapters, God is going to part the Jordan River for the people when it's at flood stage. Of course, God likes to arrange things so he can pull off his miracles when it's the least likely, when it's the most difficult. So he's going to part the Jordan River, and he says to Joshua, hey, I'm about to part the Jordan River, but here's how it's going to happen. You're going to have the priests step into the water, and then God will cut the flow of water off 18 miles upriver. So for a little bit, you're not gonna see any change. But then slowly the water will start to go down, and you'll be like, it's happening. But at first you'll be like, wait, is it really going down? Is the water really going down? Are my eyes playing tricks on me? Is God actually doing something in this situation? But then eventually, yes. But the key to this miracle is God tells Joshua what his plan is, but God doesn't do the miracle until the people take a step. So you have a destiny. That means God has a destination in mind for you. In the case of Joshua and the Israelites, it's on the other side of a river. God has a destination in mind, but you will not get there if you do not take a step. I think I just blew my own mind.
Yep. Yeah, the plan's there, but you have to do the walking.
You got to do the walking. Will God pick you up if you fall down? Yes. Will God give you supernatural energy when you get tired? Yes. Will God bring along people who can help you along the way? Yes. But do you still have to do the walking? Yes. So tell us, friends, say something down in the comments. How are your New Year's resolutions going? Are you taking any steps? Where is a place, an area of your life where God is asking you to step out? And if you want to, sometimes it's scary to announce things in public.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to lose 5 pounds. Because if I say that in public and then I don't, then I will feel shame. If I keep that to myself, then when I don't lose weight, I won't feel shame. So yeah, if you would do us the honor of sharing with us an area where you're trying to make a change in your life, where you're stepping out in faith that God is going to move, hey, say something in the comments section. I think we'll wrap up by saying this episode is brought to you, as always, from the Oski Dental Studios, but we're sponsored by New Life Community Church in Wellman, which is where I pastor and preach regularly, and we meet at 10 o'clock. On Sunday morning at the Parkside Activity Center. And we've got some different activities through the week. January 17, we've got a men's group that's going to Pizza Ranch in Washington at 6 o'clock. I think it's 6 o'clock. So you could join us there if you're a man and you like pizza or fried chicken.
Yeah, that's a good combination.
Or you could just eat from the salad bar. You know what I do to prove to my wife that I've gone to the salad bar when I go to Pizza Ranch?
Put a little ranch on your chin.
I put a pickle on my plate and take a picture of it and send it to her. See, I went to the salad bar. Does that count? I don't ask her. It counts. Because pickles are made out of cucumbers, and that's a vegetable, man.
Sure.
So don't criticize me.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we'll wrap it up there. Anything else to add, Steve?
I think we're good to go.
All right. We'll see you all around soon.